Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are back in the Counselor's Office for another react. I don't know if this is coming out or when it's coming out, but this one's a spicy video again from Astacross. We did a spicier video before this, but today we're talking about the biggest problem with the Destiny 2 community, and the thumbnail was essentially weirdos. So we're going to see what this is about. I wonder.
Clip I want us to look at real quick. I saw this clip being shared around.
Becky and I have both talked about it, and the categorical #1 problem that we have had, and like I think I maybe feel especially strongly about this, but she's felt it as well, is the weirdos in the community. Like, if I leave the Destiny community, it's not going to be because there's a problem with the game, because I love the game. It's not going to be because there's like, it's not going to be anything to do with Bungie or whatever. It's going to be, I'm sick and tired of the weirdos, right? And like,
welcome to Destiny 2. We just got done reacting to Astacross being a weirdo about the normal mode being released after World's First. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this out loud. If you play Destiny 2, you are a weirdo. We are all functionally weirdos. I don't deny it. I don't try to act like I'm better than thee. There is a case study to be had for everyone that plays Destiny or continues to play Destiny. We are all weirdos. There is no normal. There is no sane individuals. You are weird for playing Destiny. That's the reality.
Like right now, I'm good.
So if you're wondering what he means by weirdos, let's just read this post real quick. Like, this kills the game much faster than any bad update change Bungie could make. It's so insane the Destiny community will actively go out of their way to be hostile and push out new players that are excited.
And yet, these are the same people who are upset about the normal mode for a raid being released after World's First. Just keep this in mind. We're pointing at people, calling them weirdos. Let's be honest. We're all freaking weird.
Excited about the game. You were a hashtag. I don't know this part right here. You were a hashtag Destiny creator. Yet you
I saw it and I didn't. I think he deleted it. He was talking about how he doesn't know, which is a really weird attack on Milo. It wasn't even counter arguing Milo. Like, he's a content creator, where he was saying that I don't know how people can tolerate his personality, either his personality or accent or something like that. It was just really like it was a direct insult on Milo and not his take. Like, I will agree that was really weird. And usually I've seen Matt Goes Buck give some fair takes. This was kind of weird. In fact, I'm also kind of curious on Twitter. Well, look, I'll worry about it later.
Epitomize what's wrong with this community. Fucking embarrassing. I don't know what that.
Actually, no. We'll do it now. I'm going to stop. Okay. Matt Goes Buck. Yeah, this guy. Okay. Here's the deal. I said this about Milo. Maybe I'm just old, so it holds a different meaning to me. To me, this means he's annoying, cringe, like nails on a chalkboard. I should be allowed to dislike someone. Here's what I didn't say. I never said he was creepy. I never said he hates women. If you took it that way, I apologize. With that said, I've learned not to say makes my skin crawl, because apparently means something I didn't know that it meant. I've never seen the dude talk. It makes me... I was leaving this alone at this point, but today Astacross made a video saying I called him a woman hater, and it got really bad. Dude, I don't know, man. It just seems blatantly uncalled for. Like, everyone just suddenly wanted to dogpile on the dude, and the only thing he seems to be guilty of is enjoying the game. I don't even play the game anymore. If he gets dogpiled, that sucks. All I meant was meant to me is he bugs me. You said you never heard him even talk, so how does what even bug you, make you skin crawl from just existing? I mean, I've met people, like, I've seen like thousands of people working at Walmart, right? And I'll be honest. There are some people that do make your skin crawl. Like, they're just like, I cannot tolerate you talking to me. And granted, there's people that think the same way about me. But just like I say to them and do to them, as Matt did to Milo, I say, okay, you're entitled to that opinion, but why? You didn't have to say it. You didn't have to be an asshole. Like, you don't have to come to my comment section. If you don't like me, don't watch me. And the same thing goes to Matt. You don't have to be an asshole. You can just straight keep that opinion to yourself. Like, no one gives a shit about that. Like, dude, you're talking about how someone talks versus like maybe their viewpoint. There's a night and day difference. Like, brother. Witch hunting is against TOS, by the way. What you said versus a person with that reach making a video. I really like Cross. I think he's one of the best overall YouTubers. But making a video about something like this is asking for someone to get piled on. Yeah, well, let's see what he has to say.
What that tweet even was. What was that tweet? Matt was saying that Milo hates women.
Oh, see, it wasn't even asked across.
Is that what this is about? Never forget when someone quit because of idiots.
It's crazy. That was a chatter that just made some bullshit up. That was not even what he said. Bro, this is why you don't trust the Destiny community. This is exactly why you don't do it. Because some bullshit like this. This is exactly what he said. Holy, what a stretch. This is why, again, this is why content creators get themselves in trouble if they listen to, I'm telling you, I'm putting it out there. The Destiny community is full of fucking weirdos. We're all freaking weird. Let's live in reality.
In the community.
That's what I've been doing with all fucking day, dude. Players like that can't aim to save their lives, but they can shotgun all fucking day, and the community loves that skill ceiling. The grandma.
I love this because one of the biggest bitches that I see about PvP players, especially if you use like pulse rifles or bows or anything that's not a hand cannon and shoddy, the one thing they say is bitch and whine. Why can't we have a hand cannon shotgun meta? Why can't we? I use hand cannon shotgun and that's a morality loadout. I love people who post shit about morality loadouts. Like, and then seeing a real top tier player, streamer, come and shit down their throat. That is what I tell people why I can do. People do not respect Destiny players. They do not respect Destiny as a game because you have people outside who see the shit that we do and they're like, that is bad. That's garbage. That's trash. What the hell? It is crazy to see someone like Summit shit on PvPers who just use shotguns. Holy, it's like vindication.
Level skill ceiling that we got going on here. Your fucking community sucks. I hope your game dies. Good luck. What a waste of fucking time.
Oh my God.
One good thing I got out of all this though was this music.
Why am I just now discovering this clip, dude?
I didn't know that. I didn't even know he played. That makes sense. Summit kind of, I've seen some Summit play random games before. I don't really watch him stream, but I've seen a couple of, him on the headline. He plays, I think, Tarkov. I watched him play Tarkov. I cannot believe he played Destiny 2. I know, I think, was it XQC played? No, was it Shroud? I think it was Shroud. I don't know. We've had multiple streamers try Destiny and then peace out, which is a big indication, by the way.
Holy shit, man. Holy shit. I can't believe you guys are okay with that, and that's the gameplay that you want. That's the gameplay that you want. That's what you asked for.
Yes, that's exactly what PvPers call for. That's the morality loadout.
That's mind-boggling, dude. The dipshits are asking, the fucking no-skilled apes that use shotguns are running your game community. They're the ones speaking up, and Bungie thinks that it's right.
When was this, guys? When was this? And look, yeah, there's definitely still like shotgun apes inside of PvP. But was this back when you could have a shit ton of ammo?
Yes, because you can see. I don't know how he doesn't see the literal legendary shards, bro. This was back in the day, but still, it still holds true even now.
Yeah, so it must have been back when you could carry around. There was a time in Destiny you could run around with special ammo nonstop. You could use your shotgun like a primary. No, dude, it was a problem. It was a problem. Why do you think we really like? I really love the ammo meter system that Bungie tried out last year. That's fantastic. I like primary duels. I like the ability to accumulate special ammo based on your performance with your primary. So we're getting off the beaten path right here. I had no idea that clip even existed. Where is this message you said that Matt had put out? I thought this was something completely different. So Milo's getting flamed for what? Oh my God. You say Milo's being misogynistic are unironically ignoring.
By the way, the only reason I know who Berkey is because she plays Tarkov. And how I got into Tarkov was by watching Dr. Lupo. And I watched Dr. Lupo, who also has played Berkey. And so I only know her via that connection. By the way, I don't watch Dr. Lupo anymore. He kind of lost my respect. But I don't even watch Tarkov nearly much anymore either, though I do kind of get cravings to go get my ass kicked. And then for like a week or so, and then I stop playing Tarkov. But that's besides the point. But I know who she is, kind of. So interesting that she's now playing Destiny, which is also interesting because Milo was a zombies player, though. I mean, let's be honest, the zombie content on that side of things is probably drier than Destiny Year One, right? Let's be honest.
Me and all the other women in the fire team and telling us how we feel. They're ignoring our opinions and feelings on the matter and just projecting their own bullshit. Exactly the thing they are accusing Milo of doing, and it takes away all my agency. You're just straight up saying not a single one of us can stick up for ourselves. If we have an issue with what he's saying, you're saying that none of us have any control in the situation. Volunteer.
I agree with this because people think, oh, like, here's the deal. I've shit on my own clanmates. And granted, they're all guys. But just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't get shit on. Now, there are people who get upset about that. They're a hyper sensitive, like, you're the moment you give equal treatment and you shit on a gamer girl, you're just sexist. You're now misogynistic. Whatever. Yeah, what if you can't handle gaming and being part of the gang? GTFO, which it sounds like that's what she's saying. Like, yo, I can tell you, I can, stand for myself. I'm a strong, independent woman that needs no Twitter poster. Like, it is really weird that people are trying to make a big deal. I'm sure Milo was an absolute asshole. I've watched him, and there's moments where he looks like he's dead inside. So I'm sure he let some assholery come out of himself. Like, let's be honest. Who doesn't do that on day one? Which is what he was trying to encapsulate, is try to get as close to a day one experience as possible. It just happened to be worse than day one, like 84 hours or whatever it was. Like, yeah, I would think I would rather off myself.
Really been raiding with him for months, by the way. Yeah, I must be really out of the loop on this. I thought this was about like the Destiny community being toxic to new players trying in-game content. I didn't know it had anything to do with that. Milo always gave me bad vibes. Dude, are you guys for real right now? Are y'all for real? No. It's totally made up. No, so I think Milo does give bad vibes. And in the sense that I watched he portrayed Last Wish as a blind run. Yeah, he has done it. It's not a true blind run. And yes, it's semantics. It's in the details. But to act like you have never seen anything, like I do think there is some deceit in that, what he tried to do. And then he proceeded to do blind runs of everything else, which were apparently true blind runs, right? But I do feel like people see him. And here's the thing. And I get it if it's the case. People see it as just an act. Like the struggling, the sweat, everything is just an act, for views. And you know what? Who cares? Maybe it is an act. Maybe it's all just for the purpose of entertainment, which is kind of what content creators are supposed to do. It's supposed to bring entertainment. And I think the Destiny community is not used to that kind of content. I think they're used to just like strictly by the books, totally by the guide. Like you have to do everything, pin perfect. Everything has to be, you have to do meta. You have to the Destiny community is really weird about specific things that you need to do or they don't like it. And I say this because I've done two different ways. I've done meta build Grandmasters and I've done off meta builds, intentionally off meta. And I've had people get so upset
that I've used a specific gun that wasn't that great, but I said was cooking, and I was cooking with it. But because it wasn't the most meta thing, they were upset that I was doing it wrong. So there are some freaking ass weirdos in the Destiny community, but we're all freaking weird. We play Destiny. That's the reality. I own it. I'm not lying. I'm not deceiving myself. I'm a weirdo. I play Destiny. Like, I actively just don't tell people I play Destiny because I know I'm weird. And the amount of times I've told people in other games, like I'll be playing like what, Call of Duty or something, and it'd be like, you play Destiny? Like, yeah, it was some really good gunplay. And then they'll list off a bunch of things that are wrong with the game. Like, yep, that's still a thing that happens. Yep. You still support, well, not necessarily support Bungie, but I have bought their expansions for reviews. Like conversations always happen about Destiny, and people think you're weird for playing it.
None of this is real. Y'all know that, right? I didn't watch the entire stream of Milo doing the Salvation's Edge raid, but these are individuals that he's raided with for months now across multiple different raids.
Yeah, like
Milo's chill as
again, I don't understand how people don't like, if they've raided and it's like a clan, essentially, they might as well just be a clan at this point. You're going to shit on each other. Like even my own clan mates, well, I disagree with like several of their takes, and it can get heavy sometimes. That's just what happens. Like that's exactly what happens. It gets heated. You have disagreements, but like doesn't mean that we hate each other.
Secondly, have you not heard how Les and I talk to each other during a day one raid? And let me tell you this, if Les was a woman, we'd be having that same fucking conversation. Yep. All right? Because when you gotta lock in, you gotta lock the fuck in. And it can be perceived any way. It can be perceived whatever fucking way you want, I suppose. It be happening just like that. Anyways, I was expecting that this was going to be more about, but Milo is right about the weirdos. Here's the thing that disappoints me about the Destiny community. When someone's in there trying to do a raid for the first time, it is unreal how many comments I will see that are flexing. Like, wow, dumbass couldn't figure it out yet.
Yep.
Lol, I did this and...
Or, I can't believe you used that gun. Why are you using that gun? That you should have used the other gun. That gun sucks. Why'd you use that gun? It's not that good. It's not a good gun. Why are you making it sound like it's a good gun? Why are you doing that loadout? There's a better loadout. Why are you playing Stronghold Titan? Like, that's so boring. Just use Concentration Slam and just kill everything.
X amount of hours. Why? You know what I'm coming from? It's just nonstop, like trying to flex. And look, there are definitely, I would say the majority are actually sitting there like, you know, watching and enjoying and like seeing someone experience those things that we've got to experience before. And it's just like when I played Warframe, I will say Warframe community was very welcoming. And I love that, you know, throughout all the quests,
Warframe has a good community
that were like critiquing us hardcore on what we should and shouldn't be using. Sure. But the overwhelming presence was a lot of people saying, hey man, I'm so glad that you're doing this story. Oh man, he's about to do this.
That's because the Warframe community is much better than Destiny's community.
Quest line, and I really love that. Destiny, there does seem to be this weird thing where folks or the vocal minority in community love to tear people down. And it could just be something as deeply rooted as what takes place in game, in a simple LFG environment. And I hope it's just a minority, but then I hear people tell me their stories of what happens in LFG for them. And dude, it sounds kind of fucking toxic. And let me just say this, I have some elitist takes, 1000%. When it comes to contest mode and my takes that I gave yesterday, 1000%. There are 2 days out of the year that's really...
Here he is trying to qualify his shitty toxicness.
Shit really matters to me. But outside of that, this game should always be very open and accepting.
Yeah. This one time where it actually benefits the community, we're going to ignore that because I want to make a narrative that the community is totally not toxic. We shouldn't be toxic. But yeah, I'm still going to die on this hill, even though it benefits the wider community. You know, I'm going to ignore that.
To new players trying it out.
So hypocritical, man.
We should applaud those that achieve things that at one time was very difficult for us to achieve as well. Especially if they're achieving it in a very organic way. As in self-taught, not looking at a guide. That to me is very impressive.
Which, again, I would love to see how many people would actually do top placement if they didn't have scouts. I find it comical that we talk about that, but we know that content creators and streamers and people competing in the world's first race are using scouts to get information.
Now, the problem is that the moment you say, hey, internet, you need to behave. Oh, man, the shitters come out, brother. Matter of fact, even if you're not a shitter, when you get told, hey, you need to just be kind and good out of the goodness of your heart, it just don't work. You see what I mean?
That's because that's not usually what the community is saying. That is absolutely, I have never once heard any comment on any of my videos criticizing Bungie. It has always been, that's usually what I've heard from people in the comment that don't agree with my, it's never been, you know, any positive counter talk. It's just mostly been, that's pretty much what it's been.
Just doesn't work. And I wish people would just be good out of the goodness of their hearts. But you fuckers are shitters, man. You know, they ain't no other way around it. And sometimes, kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's kind of funny. Sometimes it's fucking weird, all right? Sometimes it's too far. I think the main thing is, how can we incentivize people to be better in Destiny itself? Because
shame them. Shame the bad actors. Shame them. Just like we shame Massacross for his decisions, you should absolutely shame bad behavior. Seriously, it's not bullying if they're bad actors. The concept of bullying is that you're targeting someone to hurt them with the intent of causing harm, and it's one-sided. But if they are a bad actor and they're hurting, quote unquote, or providing negative discourse, they're not, you know, you're trying to see improvement, you should shame them. Just like I call out Bungie and their poor choices. I call out the things that are wrong with the game, or I point out what the overall community is saying about a situation. Like in my Edge of Fate video, talking about how Edge of Fate is already a failure. I point out everything that people were feeling with a splice of my own opinions to call out, in hopes that even though Edge of Fate won't change, at least Renegades might be something better in the future. We'll see. But overall, you should absolutely shame bad actors.
Inside of somebody's Twitch chats or on Twitter, people are going to say whatever the fuck they're going to say. You know what I mean? They're going to say whatever they're going to say. How can we make people better in game? Venture says ban them. All right. For being mean. I guess.
What a bunch of I'm sorry. You should not ban someone just because they're mean. I'm sorry. You would not live a day in the age of Halo 3. And I know I've heard people saying, well, you shouldn't have to live through that. Grow up. Literally grow up. It's a rite of passage. It's called building resiliency. It's called being a gamer. We don't need no little beta bitches who can't handle some trash talk. That's the code of a gamer. If you're not for the code, you're just a beta. Get off my Minecraft server, bitch. No, I'm joking.
Could, but that's difficult. You know what I mean? That's difficult. And also there's like a matter of interpretation. If someone says, bro, you keep throwing, how are you this bad? Is that a negative thing to say? Well, yes, but does it break code of conduct? Not necessarily. If he said, hey, bitch, you keep fucking throwing, how are you?
Yep, that's me. That's me. Especially in PvP when I get competitive. I'm like, how are you this ass? Go play Fortnite. Go play Minecraft. You're wasting my time. You're not trying. Why are you doing this? Especially when it's a master raid or something like why especially when they find out they said, sorry, I've not done this raid before. I fucking go off. I'm like, you are a piece of shit. Go fucking play the normal mode. I actually don't say the first half, but that's what I say. Say, hey, you need to go play normal mode. You should not be holding us back.
You this ass. That presentation, that kind of breaks some code of content.
I had a 5% bad rep in Halo 3. Microsoft banned my account for multiplayer for 3 months. I was the betrayal and the teabag king. Dude, I forgot about that system, but I still teabag people.
Or code of conduct there. So if the delivery is fair, it doesn't mean it isn't just as hurtful. If you see in the text
Nah, the delivery is fine. Just stop being a bitch.
feed, bro, you keep throwing. How are you this bad? Doesn't necessarily break code of conduct. He's not cursing. He's not saying anything profane, nothing racial.
You know, yeah, I was about to say, if you're not saying anything racist, you're not saying anything sexist, or like whatever ism you want to put in there. But if you're just straight throwing trash, that should be acceptable. That should be acceptable.
Just saying these things that may or may not be true. It could be true. What if that person is throwing? And do they happen to be bad? The question is how do we make a good player accept a bad player? And that is where Final Fantasy 14 system is perfect.
I've never played
Guys,
this game.
I keep saying this.
I've had several people talk about Final Fantasy. I just can't get into an MMO, or at least another time sink. I can't.
Saying this to I'm blue in the fucking face. You have to incentivize people to be nice. I wish everyone could just be nice out of the goodness of their heart, but they're not, because people aren't like that. You're a bunch of shitfucks. That's you, a shitfuck. And you're not going to be nice unless Bungie gives you something for it. Commendations should be a currency, and you should only be able to give one out per run. 1 out per run of an activity. And you make these commendations mean something. You redeem it for certain materials. In Final Fantasy 14, you redeem it for armor and weapons.
Okay.
I wish I can go even further this and say,
I have a plethora of questions of how that would translate into Destiny. Like, armor and weapons is based on tiers. So like the more reputation you build, you get higher tiers. Actually, that would be a cool system. People would care about that system if they had earned a high reputation of goodwill. You can get tier 5 gear eventually. I would be there sucking the feet of LFG. They could be literally ass, and I'll say, come here, sweetie. Come here. You're doing a great job. Who's a good boy? You're looking at him. He's walking. Oh, he's walking across the bridge with the sword. Come on. Chrono's on the other side. Come on, kitty. Come on. You got it. Yeah. I would absolutely take care of. Absolutely. I will take that if you give me some tier 5 loot.
okay, man, imagine if Bungie gave us clan halls, and the only way you can upgrade your clan hall is via these commendations. These commendation points is the currency required to completely pimp out your clan hall. Now, if you're thinking, Charles, how would a commendation save me? I'm doing a dungeon with you. One individual keeps throwing, and me and this other guy are carrying you. Because I want your commendation, I want to make sure that I stand out next to this fucking guy that's also carrying you. You know, I'm going to be like, hey man, can I assist you? Would you like for me to explain this mechanic? Simply because I want your commendation, and I don't want fucking John here getting your commendation. I've said this before many times in the past, but I have literally wrote out entire thing. Like I've been so pissed off.
Yeah.
That I spaced that shit because I was like, I need that.
Sometimes you got to type some stuff out, and then you have to let it sit there for a minute, and then you have to delete it. Like I've done that so many times.
Commendation. You know what I mean? You incentivize the community. And then eventually, after repetition of people typing things like, how can I assist you? Would you like to try this strategy, or would you like to try this role that may be more fitting for your playstyle? Once people get into the repetition of saying these things, what eventually happens is, lo and behold, it becomes kind of the thing you say all the time, even after you don't.
I also just want to generally say that I think a lot of the issues caused by the raid and dungeon situation could be solved with an explorer mode. Like, I think they should go the full extent that director mode goes for Call of Duty and zombies. I think a full-on fledged director mode where it teaches from every aspect and treats the player like they're a dumbass, literally lets everyone play a raid in a dungeon, which I did watch an interview from Milo or someone about the possibility of doing Explorer mode raids, which is something that they said that they were considering and shopping about, which would be amazing if we had Explorer mode raids. I would be so ecstatic. I would do community run Explorer mode. I would willingly do that, because there would be, if they did it right, you would not wipe like you normally would. Like if you fail the encounter, you just reset, but you wouldn't lose all your progress. And I would absolutely carry as many Timmies as possible. I would be the Explorer Joe. Call me Explorer Joe. Even though my name's not Joe, I'm Explorer Joe. I will literally lead the charge for the community. The day Bungie does it, I give you my word. Clip it, ship it, let everyone know. I will say it here. I will say it loud. I will say it proud. If Bungie does Explorer mode raids, I will lead the charge and I will dedicate streams to carrying people through Explorer mode raids to help and assist them. I will help people do Explorer modes, especially if there's no chance of failure. That's the big key word. I don't want to wipe and keep doing things over and over and over and over again. I have patience, but after a long day of work, I don't have that much patience to spend an hour in one encounter. Just saying that. Just saying that.
You don't need commendations. You're a little more positive. Sure, it may seep out every now and then, but for the time being, it appears that that positivity may have some sticking there. It's not just a Destiny community thing. It's an anonymous viewer thing in general. Just a bunch of disingenuous, bored people being rude.
I do think there's more, like, let's be honest. I think there's more douchebags on Twitch than there are YouTubes. I'm just going to say that right now. And it's more, the more popular you are or more people you have in your stream, the more likely you're going to get the douchebags who are just there to troll or hate on you. Like, which is another thing I don't understand. Milo needs to grow a spine. Grow a spine, Milo. Grow a spine. Like, if you, if it's a small minority of weird, like overly weirdos, I mean, all Destiny community is weird, but it was overwhelming, like a small group. You got to learn to ignore them. Like, you've got to have a backbone and just ignore them. Like, if you, I've gotten, like, I don't get upset with people who hate in the comment section on my videos. I just roast them, troll them, or, you know, if they're spamming, I just block them. Usually I like to roast them or troll them because it's more entertainment for me. Like, I don't get upset. I'm from the generation of shitting on each other in Call of Duty and Black Ops. Like, that's where I'm from. Like, I have a backbone. Also, working at Walmart for 10 years will also give you a spine because you have to learn to hold yourself back from saying what you want to say. But I do find it funny that a lot of these people are complaining. Just ignore them. Move on. If you don't want to troll them or roast them like I do, ignore them. Here's the one thing I always tell my kids when in situations where there actually is a bully situation or someone that's trying to mess with them, you should try to ignore them. That should be the first step, because there is a chunk that if you don't let it bother you, they won't continue doing it because they want a reaction. And the moment you give them a reaction, they'll continue doing it, especially if they know it works because they found their new target. They found someone that's easy to pick on because they get the reaction that they want. Obviously, that doesn't work all the time. And that's when you get the teacher involved and yada, 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 right? We can all have a conversation of how to stop bullying, right? He just needs to ignore it because those people will notice that they're not getting a reaction out of them. They're not getting the thrill, the excitement of notoriety. They will go away. Especially if you're not going to roast them or troll them back like I do. Like, half the people I roast or troll just never come back to the channel because they know you can't bully me. And trust me, I've had plenty of people in my life as a student who tried to bully me, even because I was quiet and shy and awkward. But the moment they try to mess with me is the moment that I annoyed the hell out of them. I was an annoying asshole in school. Like, the moment people tried to pick on me, I annoyed them so much they didn't want anything to do with me. That's what you gotta do. You gotta be bulletproof.
Consider it jerks. Look, man, that's just part of online gaming, man. It's a beauty to it. The moment I realized that I could say, you eat my ass, bitch, in RuneScape, as a 14-year-old boy, I was in heaven. Of course, it bleeped it out, so I had to mess with the settings there. I would spell you a little differently, you know what I mean? F-O-O-K or something, right? Instead of saying bitch, because I had to say bitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throw that IA in there and really drag it out. It was something beautiful about.
Yep. The big old days before Discord was a thing too, by the way. The only real fair site, dude. I used to just be a absolute douchebag in RuneScape. I don't know how many accounts I stole, how many gold I took from people. I was just in high school, I was an asshole. I'll tell you right now, I stole at least, I don't know how many accounts I stole, and I've got millions of gold. Boy, listen, I don't say I regret it, but I was an absolute asshole.
Walking around Lumbridge and just being like, biatch, you know, I loved it. I had a great time. Anytime a deal ever went bad, if I was trading someone and they were, you know, the price wasn't what I want, I would immediately just light them up, you know.
That, or you take him out to the wilderness so you could trade, like, hey, I gotta take you out of the wilderness, and then you murder them. Especially if you go out and you look like this, here's what you do. Here's what I used to do. You'd start a new account. You drop stuff somewhere in the wilderness where no one can go to it. Then you would go with your new account, like from your main account, you go to your new account, you grab all the rune armor and all the other stuff and the potions. And then you would go out and you would try to, you know, act like you're selling something. You're this low level little Andy. They can look at you like, oh, he's just a nobody. And you tell them like, hey, let's go get the deal. Then you'd strap on your armor and you would murder them and take everything they have from the wilderness. Because they thought you were just a little Timmy, you're harmless. You would just murder them and take all their stuff. Those were the days.
Every word under the sun, I would light them up. But what happened was I was talking shit to a girl who was selling herself. Now, if you've ever played RuneScape, this was a thing. You could buy a girlfriend. Anyways, this girl was selling herself in the bank, and I was trying to sell some bowstrings, or I actually think it was just some logs. I think I was selling some logs. But see, and when you type in RuneScape, the text takes.
I don't think I ever had a RuneScape girlfriend, but that was a thing. They'd be standing off on like the marketplace before they had the big marketplace. You'd be off to the side. And they would do like you could do the font change where you had like the wave and it would change rainbow color, or you do red text or something with the wave. It was such an interesting time back then.
The screen. And so eventually I was like, listen, go do that whole shit. And at the West Bank, okay, right now we're on the east side. This is where we sell logs. And somehow she fucking spun this into some bullshit, pissed me off, and started talking shit. But she wasn't saying anything that was breaking code of conduct. So I lit into her from, you know, bitch, and then you could change the text on the screen. So then I had the screen text where it was lighting up and flashing in the same bitch constantly. Anyway, a player mod comes up to me while I'm doing my broadcasting that this hoe biatch was selling her stuff. And by the way, I may be coming on misogynistic right now, but let's just be real. That's not a she. It was a he. Let's be clear.
It's true.
Regardless,
it's true.
The player mod said chill, of which I didn't acknowledge because I didn't know what a player mod was. And he says, I'm giving you one more chance. And then I said some stuff to him, and then he muted me. And that was an interesting moment because for 24 hours, I walked around RuneScape saying things above my head that no one could read, which was really off and also kind of therapeutic. What happened after that situation was I didn't get banned, but I couldn't communicate with anyone. So I couldn't sell anything. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't be a shooter. You know, I couldn't send messages. Like I couldn't do anything for 24 hours except go play the game, but not actually converse with people. And I kind of learned my lesson after that. I learned if
I didn't. I've made several mods upset. Literally, I remember scamming someone and then they ran to tell a mod and I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I dumped it all in my bank and I was running around like a little Andy. And then I was trying to, like, I had wood or something I was selling. And so they ran off to go get a mod and I would just be selling wood. And I'm like, I would tell them like, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just trying to sell wood, sir. And then I'd get away with it.
I was going to talk shit. Keep it the DMs only. Don't do it publicly. And I also learned if you see a player mod, instantly world dip. Just log off, log back on somewhere else. So there was a lot of good lessons that I got from that. The point I'm really trying to make is that Bungie may want to add.
I think the moral of the story is no matter where you go, no matter what game you play, there will be assholes. There will be weirdos. You just need to grow a spine. Welcome to the world. Half these people that bitch and complain about weirdos have never worked in actual retail. You can tell they've never worked fast food. They've never worked retail. They've never worked a job where you had to interact with a human being and never get to say what you actually want to say to them. You just have to sit there and actually be a paid doormat. You are literally paying to be a doormat. which is why I actively against, paying Bungie to be their doormat, right? And I tell people, don't be a $1 billion company's doormat because you're not getting paid for it, right? There's a difference. You're getting a paycheck, sure. You got to do what you got to do to get that money, but you're paying someone else like, hey, I'm going to be your loyal doormat. Take my money. Like, that's different, right? But people, seriously, grow a spine. Stop being a sissy, a pansy. Stop being a and like, get over it. The real world's not nice. The real world's not nice. It could be a nice place. You can be a nicer, but you got to learn to let it go. You got to learn to move on. If you're not willing to troll or, clap back, you've got to let it go and move on. Because you carry that on your shoulder, especially in a video game, boy, you're going to hate your life.
Player modding. Seriously, find people in the community that are good people that wouldn't abuse their power. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, they have the ability not to ban someone, but to mute someone. If someone's talking that shit in the middle of a fire team, in a raid or a dungeon.
I think it would be a horrible, horrible idea to give anyone the rights to mute anyone in Destiny. I absolutely disagree. All it takes is one content creator who doesn't like something you said offline or you say something about them online, not even in game, and they just mute you in the game itself. Like, that's a horrible idea.
Maybe they just go, hey, bro, you need to chill. They don't chill. They keep talking that shit in chats. I'm down with the axe, baby. And I will say, Bungie, to be safe about this, if you want to do a trial on this, I am more than willing to volunteer myself as someone who is unbiased, that won't abuse this power, and who's also been on the receiving end of this. I know the pain that is inflicted when one unfortunately has to wield such a power. And I am more than happy to try this out for you guys and see where this goes. These are just one of the many steps necessary in order to make Destiny a proper MMO. Bro's gotten so off topic here. Have we? Oh, as far as like the Destiny community being weird, all I can say about that is, unfortunately, people online are just weird. They say weird shit, they say hurtful things, and that's unfortunate, man. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to end it there, but yeah, he's just regurgitating the same thing as me. Again, link will be down below. You can like the video if you agree with it, but I'm just going to regurgitate the same thing that I said before. There's always going to be weirdos, no matter what you do, where you go. There's always going to be weirdos in a Destiny community and beyond. You just got to learn to ignore them. Like, unless they're being racist or sexist or over whatever ism you want to put in there. It's a nothing burger. By the way, when I was in high school or even before that, I said a lot of isms and I don't regret any of it. I've learned and grown as an adult and I don't say that stuff anymore, but I don't regret any of it. If we went back in time, I would still say it. I would still call someone a mother licker. I would still call them a lot of things I should not be saying and I won't say or repeat. I don't regret it. Because it was always coming back my way anyways. It was a give and take. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Gaming just ain't the same anymore because everyone's is fragile and no one can learn to ignore things. And I do think there's a balance of having to silence people that should be silenced versus just being a grown up and ignoring things. Like, it's crazy how I've coming to a school, we educate, and then even seeing adults telling their kids just ignore it. And yet we still have adults that don't ignore things from other adults. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen people get onto their kids when I worked at Walmart, and yet they would act up worse than their kids the moment something didn't go their way or moment someone said something or looked at them weird. Like, it is just crazy. But anyways, I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And just remember, if you play Destiny, you're a weirdo. We all are. But it's okay. Because we're all just weird like that.